Enable notifications by ringing the bell.
So we watched Kostya Kimlat pretty much pull the wool over Penn and Teller's eyes, and you know what? Felt good. Felt good to see Penn get a little jolted and a little angry about that. I mean, he was just like, "Grr!"
I would compare his reaction to you punching the couch when you were watching
when I was watching
the
the
Nostalgia
food
Critic
fight.
food fight.
You're just, I was angry. I was so angry. I don't regret a single moment.
It was pretty funny.
But, so, we watched Kostya Kimlat full Penn and Teller, but the first person I can remember seeing full Penn and Teller is a man by the name of Shawn Farquhar. Shawn Farquhar is a Canadian magician who, in the World Championship, I believe in the World Championship of Card Magic, he's won several times, I believe. So, honestly, he's got a lot of talent in his hands. So, how about we see what Shawn's got for Penn and Teller right now.
Shawn Farquhar.
I'm Shawn Farquhar. I come from a little place called Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Canada. Population about the same as Heathrow Airport. I've been doing magic all my life. My mom says when I was born, the doctor slapped me and I said, pick a card. My father was a magician, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. I'm like the fourth generation without a real job. In 2009, I went into Beijing, China, the World Olympics of Magic. And in front of 3,200 of my peers, I won the World Championship for card magic.
Mainly because that nostril is actually stuffed up right now.
To see the world.
I can feel having a pin on
Showtime. Time to have some fun.
Can you please welcome the reigning world champion of card magic, Mr. Shawn Farquhar.
I think this is the first season too, because look at Penn here. He's much heavier here than he is than he was in the other clip.
But it's a special one, and it's going to use a brand new deck of cards. Penn, would you mind helping me?
I'll try.
Ladies and gentlemen, Penn Gillette, please come and join me. Thank you, sir. I would have picked Teller, but I think the conversation might have been very one-sided. Look, I have a brand new deck of cards, hermetically sealed.
He doesn't say
Inside
much,
of this
does he?
deck of cards,
Oh,
is
Penn
the
barely
paper
says a
seal.
word.
It says
Yeah.
United States Playing Card Company.
Sure does.
It confirms that it's a brand new deck of cards.
And not Canadian.
That's true. Look at not much is. Look, I'm going to pop it open. Inside a brand new deck of cards, never touched by human hands. Would you cup your hands together like that for me? I'm going to drop the cards on your hand. Now, I know you know cards, but they don't. I just want to point out that if you look at the brand new deck, there are two premium cards here.
Right.
These, they're advertised things. The other end of the deck has two jokers. One is like the traditional one, and the other is like a guaranteed joker. We're not going to use those, but we're going to keep the one joker in.
Okay.
Can you kind of fan them out so the audience can see what new deck corridor looks like? You can see it runs ace through king. See the two kings in the middle, folks? These are what we call the kissing kings. I call them the broke-back kings. So, do me a favor and shuffle up the cards. When you feel they're completely shuffled, let me know.
I believe Percy Diaconis said you have to do 12 shuffles. Did he
Absolutely.
say? But I'll just do 4 or 5. I believe that's okay. We'll give them a cut, and we'll let you
Perfect.
see the bottom.
Would you do me a favor? Touch a card on the back. Just kind of plunk your finger. Take a look at it. It's all right if I see it. I've seen this trick before.
Okay.
What card did you get? It's one of my favorites.
I got the 7 of diamonds.
Seriously?
Yes,
You
I
could
did.
not have picked a more perfect card. Write your name right on the face of the card.
I will.
Perfect. Once the card's been signed, we'll recap.
Okay.
That's the pen.
Why?
Yeah, it's the joke. If I go just explaining to everybody else, would you hold your hand just flat like that?
I certainly will.
I'll place the cards here. Place your other hand on top, trapping the cards in between.
I will, then.
Fully and effectively, and I'll remove one card.
Okay.
If I removed your card, would that be impressive?
That would be very impressive.
No, it wouldn't. I got a joker. It's okay. It's okay. How about this? I can do better than that.
Okay.
If I could reach in between your hands and straighten one card up, so it's the opposite direction, and it was your card, the 7 of diamonds, would that be?
That'd be pretty good.
Okay, I can do better. How about this? Would I fool you if I were to put those cards back in new deck order and put the one card reversed?
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Okay.
I'm not going to say you're going to fool me. I won't say that yet.
Good,
but
good,
okay.
good. How about if I took the cards and put them in new deck order, reverse the one card, put them in the cardboard box, put the paper seal and wrap them up in the plastic?
Oh, that would be a fine trick.
I just did it. Take a look. It's a brand new deck of cards.
What?
You punch her the closest. I want you to see. Is there a cut or slit in the top of the box?
There is not.
Cut or slit in the bottom of the box?
Well, not that I can see.
How about the side?
Not that I can see.
The other side?
Not that I can see.
Top or back?
Nope.
It's a brand new deck of cards.
I believe so.
I'm gonna pop this open. Inside, there is a paper seal. It says United States Playing Card Company.
Not Canadian.
Deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu. Sometimes it takes 4. Look, I'm gonna pop open the paper seal. Inside, a brand new deck of cards, never touched by human hands. Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
I remember
You've
it
seen
from
this
last
card.
time. Yeah.
I want to point something out. If you look at the deck, there isn't a premium card on the end. Do you know why?
Why is that?
They're in my pocket, remember? Mm-hmm. Get them out. There's a lot of them. There's the Jokers and the premium card. All of them are in here. That means that this should be a new deck ordered deck. Take a look and see if they run ace through king. Oh, maybe you could turn this way so the camera can see.
Someone who was a professional in show business would
would
know that.
Now, when you get to the diamonds, do you notice one card is
I do.
reversed?
Between the 8 and the 6 of diamonds
Would be where the 7 should
exactly
be.
where my selected card should be.
And would you like me to remove it to make it easier for you? I'll just kind of pull it like that lightly
sure.
and turn it around like that so you can see. It really does.
Look at Penn. Look at Teller. He's just like,
It's like, what?
he's like, huh? How? What?
Thanks, Johnny.
Okay, so.
He somehow,
He did it, but
like,
that
I don't know.
was unique. Does anyone
I
else
kind
do
of
that?
have an
That's my job.
idea of how he
Does
did
anyone
it,
else-
but it was
You
some
can't
definitely
say-
some
but does
impressive
anyone else
sleight
do
of
that
hand.
particular technique?
No,
you
there
know?
was not the similar technique. The same effect was a gentleman by the name of George Schindler many years ago, now the Dean of American Magicians. He inspired me, but I came up with a completely different method.
And that will be the key, I guess, this evening to fool those guys. If it's a new
Sure.
method and they haven't seen it before and they can't put their finger on it, we'll get away with it. And by we, I mean you, of course, although I'd like some of the reflected glory.
I'll share.
And is that one of the most technically difficult ones in your routine to do?
It is, in fact, not the most technically difficult, but it's probably the most fun to present because most of it takes place in the spectator's hands. And I think magic that takes place in somebody else's hands is so much more powerful
That's
than magic that takes place in our own.
That's what I tell my wife all the time.
That's right.
I love John. I'm sad that he's not the presenter anymore, but
This is a really, really tough call for us. I think anybody has to know that at some point you had to do a deck switch. Unfortunately, there was a moment when we both saw it, when you were pulling the pen out.
Yes.
And we had all these discussions and meetings about this, which we've talked for hours with the producers about what would constitute fooling us. We said over and over again, if we actually saw a move, it would negate the whole thing. But all that having been said, and the feeling that we saw a move that we should not have seen, we have no idea how you got the goddamn call. And fair, I think right out of the deck, I should say that you absolutely did, on the most important part of the trick, I think you did fool us.
Speaking as someone who just loves the fun of magic done,
I have no idea how we got there. John,
Can I ask you just one promise?
What's that?
Never tell them.
I will.
oh, John.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's
So yeah, Shawn Farquhar was like the first, like really big fooler who got them early on in the first season, and then and then he came back later, and it was actually when they had the new host. The new host now. Have you ever seen the American Pie movies?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Okay, you remember the redhead that Jim was with? You know, the one that he eventually married?
Allison Hannigan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the presenter now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, Allison's actually a really good presenter in her own right. She brings a very good a very giddy nature to like she's like John was always very professional and semi-lackadaisical, but at the same time, he knew what was going on. But at the same time, Allison, she's like, oh, I can't believe he did. Wow. Like,
actually, I think now that I think about it, I might have seen like a clip or two with her in it.
Well, yeah,
because she's like, really stoked about the tricks and stuff.
Well, yeah, and her and Shawn actually, Shawn Farquhar, he comes back when she's the host, and he actually uses her in his trick, and then again, it's just like, wow, how he fools them again, and he doesn't use a card trick. It's actually something else entirely.
Right on.
And it's just like, wow. And you see, I love magic. I love seeing how magic is done, and what people do, and how they develop the trick and everything. It's just like people doing sleight of hand, just like how they're able to like flip the cards around and everything, and not have to and just how like the little movements that people do always blows me away.
Yeah. And
for Shawn Farquhar to do that, getting the deck back in the box with the paper seal on, with the plastic wrapped around it. It's just like, Jesus. How did he do that?
I mean, like I said, I have an idea, but it's like completely a guess, and it may not even be exactly how he did it.
Actually, go ahead with it, because
it's essentially, it's like, there was a quote unquote deck swap.
Yeah.
And I think the first one, actually, one of the things that is basically the reason they gave him the trick, is because it was more of a red herring deck swap, to make them think like that. That's when he swapped it out, because then that's going to confuse you on how he got it back in the box. But actually, where he swaps the deck out is obviously as he puts it into his hands to close them. It's got to go somewhere, and it's got to get replaced with a sealed box of cards. Mm-hmm. And then as he dumps that box out, there has to be a sleight of hand to where what comes out of the box does not come out of the box, but is the original deck, and it is what comes out, and like basically comes from somewhere in his hands, probably like, sleeve or behind something, somewhere. Like, he was doing things specifically on purpose the entire time, like putting the certain cards in his pocket and stuff like that. And when magicians do things, they very rarely do anything that seems like it's for, just whatever reason, for no reason. Like almost everything they do has a certain purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And like there was a lot going on, and there was a lot going on probably for either the purposes of throwing you off, or for the purposes of it did have something to do with how the trick ended up playing out in the end. And so, I mean, there were a lot of possibilities with it. I can definitely see why it fooled them. Like, like I said, the best I can muster is like a guess, and it's probably a weak guess. It's probably not even on point, honestly.
Well, and honestly, any guess is good, because me and Ben, we racked our brains trying to come up with how Shin Lim pulled off a lot of his things, and it's just like wow, how did he do that? And it's just like, whoa, because it's just amazing, like what people are capable of whenever they are able to formulate how to like how to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like there is the problem, and then there's the solution, and everything in between is something you have to work on, and there's routes that people have figured out how to do it, more straightforward, more like going ridiculously to get around it to fool people. That's just like I've seen one. It was an old trick that somebody did with they did the cup, the 3 cups with the little rubber ball in there, and what they did was they showed the rubber ball. It's just like, now listen whenever I drop the rubber ball in. Nothing. Okay. Now listen when I drop this ball bearing in. Ding. Okay. Now, if I were to put the ball bearing under this, and I were to go like this, you'd hear it clanking. Now, say I put the rubber ball underneath. You don't hear it as much. It's because the metal is causing a reaction with the ball bearing's causing a reaction with the metal that is causing it to make the sound, whereas rubber is absorbing that, and instead of making a sound, it's just moving around. Now, if that's the case, then if that's the case, now why do I have this cup empty? Are you sure this cup is empty? No, it is not. And it's like, you know what? You're right. He picks it up, and the ball bearing is under there. And turns out and he's like, now shall we check if the ball bearing is under the? It's like, oh, the ball bearing should still be under this one. Picks it. Yeah, it was making the metal clanking sound. Turns out he had a little tip thing on his fingertip here, and every time he was like moving it back and forth, he was like tapping.
Yeah.
It was just like, and he revealed it after. And he's like, but let me take off the glass fingertip. Let me actually try and fool you on this one. Hold on 1 second. Now, if I have the ball bearing under this one, the rubber ball under this one, then answer me this: why are all these sponge balls under here? He lifts it up, and the whole thing just pretty much explodes, like with sponge balls under it, and it's just like, whoa, what? It's like a deliberate misdirection, followed by a reveal, and then something completely different that you never even thought about.
Yeah.
And
stuff like that's really cool.
Yeah, I love that stuff. And speaking of stuff that just absolutely, it both rubbed me the wrong way, but at the same time made me laugh my ass off. There's a certain person in this who's a piece of shit, Matt Lauer. Looking at you. And he... he invited Apollo Robbins onto the Today Show. Apollo Robbins is the best pickpocket in the world. I'll just let you watch.
To be the very best pickpocket in the entire world. Apollo Robbins is known as the gentleman thief, but it's all in good fun. He is here from Las Vegas to show us how he does it. Okay?
Well, I thought it might be easier and less invasive if I give you something of mine and then I try to steal it back from you. I noticed you had a few things just from looking at your pockets, kind of what items you might have. Do you have a wallet on you right now?
I do not.
No, all right.
You don't have a wallet on you? I don't carry a wallet.
I don't either. No, I actually don't either.
Really?
Yeah.
Here,
you don't have to drive.
Put this inside your inside jacket pocket for me.
Okay.
Now, that's a harder pocket to steal from. They call this a pit. We're working uptown. And it makes it harder for me to get inside without you at least seeing my face. So try to keep
tight as a drum.
Look at his soul. I'll be gentle. All right. And we'll give a little bit of cash for you as well. If you do you have any cash on you right now?
He's already taken something off of him.
Here, let's do
You
this.
think so?
If I do this, I'll
Took something
give two
out of his
places.
back pocket
Yes,
or
I want
something.
to just be able to have in reach.
All right.
And then put this inside your front pants pocket because a lot of people think that's a safe place to keep things.
Right.
And then for you, just something simple. If you take this pen, now there's two pieces to a pen, so try to keep track of both, but put it inside your jacket.
You get a
for me.
wallet, he gets cash, and then you get a pen. Thanks.
A very expensive pen.
Okay.
And then just put it inside your jacket. I'll show you kind of how it works. With me approaching you, I have to get inside your space. And to make you comfortable, your eye contact sometimes feels a little bit intense if I approach. But if I break eye contact, I can get in very close. If I keep eye contact, you'll feel it all the way up into your zone.
Right.
So if I did it this way, let me go ahead and step over on this side. I'll try this with you. So you have a few things on you right now. You have your watch, which doesn't come off very well, but your belt does. Do you still have your belt on at the moment? Double check.
Yes, I do.
You have to watch close for these things. If you can do this for me for a second.
You see behind his head?
Do you still have the credit card?
I didn't actually.
Do you still have your credit cards?
I do.
Don't put your hands in your pocket. That's a different show.
Okay.
Just check the bottom of your pocket. You have something over there on that side.
I do, yes.
All right, great. Just checking out of what you do have. It's hard to tell.
Look at this
Step-
guy.
Sorry
Look at
about
this
that.
guy.
Step over this way.
Look at this guy. I just lifted my credit card.
Just working my way down the line.
Check your wrist.
You didn't have a whole
thing
lot
on
on
my
you. Where
belt.
was the pen that you had a while ago? Did you put that in somewhere safe?
You're right here.
That was harder to get to because of the microphone, I
For the
believe.
wire. Okay.
Where was your wallet at? Was that in the inside jacket here?
Yes, it was.
All right. Would you check to see if that's still there?
It is not there. Willie?
All right. So out of those items, just to make this fast, I believe the pen is gone, yes? The pen is gone. The wallet is gone. Is the cash gone, sir?
The cash is gone, yes.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I have a few things. Here's your credit cards, your IDs, and then those items as well. They used to be in your pocket.
And here's my favorite part.
And your watch, sir. I believe
He stole his watch, didn't even know about it.
Thank you. How did you do that?
I have something of yours, too. Did you feel that?
I did not
Do you
feel
still
that.
have the wallet?
It feels like I have something. Yes.
Bring it out. Open it up. Is there something inside?
It's
the pen?
my pen.
Open it. Actually, what's unusual about the pen, I had a little bit of extra time, so I did this. Here's the refill for the pen. Would you open up the cap for me for a second? I think there's something inside.
No.
Open that up.
That's the $100.
you
That's
got
my
the other piece right there.
100. Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that so much of a piece that's not still worth $100? I'm taking that. Though. How did you get his watch?
Yeah, show us how you
Yeah, the
did that
watch blew me away. How'd you do that?
I'd be happy to. Here, come on over this way. So when stealing something like this, when I draw your attention, there's different ways. During a handshake, you can do this. It's a bit of a squeeze. So he feels like the watch is still on, but I've got it unfastened. So at this point, it still feels like it's there, but it's easy enough for me at this point, as I'm reaching across.
Had you been looking at the kind of...
Show the video, because we have the slow-mo
Had you been looking at the
of it
kind of
actually
fast-
happening when he did it
Had you
to
been
Willie.
looking at the way that it
I was looking at, like,
sizing
yours
it
comes
up.
over the end of the wrist, so I have you reach in my
Look how
pocket.
quick you
And
did
watch
that,
him
though.
hold it up behind your head.
Like,
Man, I am impressed. Apollo, that was awesome. That was fantastic.
That's really cool.
so yeah, Apollo Robbins is pretty much like he actually teaches people what to look out for, and actually,
That's really difficult too, though, because like, I mean, any given like pickpocket could have their own given methods of misdirection, and you could be looking out for one thing, and they'd be playing a completely different game on you.
well, the most typical thing like street thieves do is whenever there's a duo of them, one of them like steals one of your things and runs, and your immediate action or immediate reaction is to run and chase them down. Meanwhile, his buddy comes over, gets a bag, throws all your stuff in there,
Yeah.
and then he takes off.
Right.
And before you even know it, well, there was actually a comedy bit done in India. It was this guy rides up on a motorcycle. He sees this guy in the middle of the road laying down, and as he's laying down in the middle of the road, this guy drives up on a motorbike. The guy on the motorbike then gets off and goes up to check on him, see if he's okay. As soon as he does that, a guy comes out from behind a tree, and then grabs the guy's helmet that was sitting on the back of his bike and runs off. The guy in the middle of the road takes this opportunity. As soon as the guy turns around to run and chase the guy who stole his helmet, he gets up and hops on the motorbike, and then he drives off. And as soon as he drives off, he makes like he goes to I forget exactly. He gets out his cell phone to call somebody, and then as the guy who stole his motorbike, the guy on the motorbike rides by, swipes his cell phone, and picks up his partner.
Wow.
I call that getting robbed blind. Like, Jesus, it's not even fair at that point.
Yeah.
But that's some pretty funny stuff. So, all right. Well, I think that's enough for this episode. So, if you have enjoyed what you've seen here, let us know in the comments down below. If you want to check out more Penn and Teller Fool Us, they post videos online all the time. There's all sorts of compilations of people fooling Penn and Teller. But if there's one out there you want us to watch, let us know. And I guess until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
And we'll see you later, everyone. Peace out.